I'm 40 and I willingly live with my mother.
I'm 75 and I live with my daughter.
You gotta turn to the camera for dramatic effect.
Ooh, I need my gloves. Welcome back to the backup plan and to my backyard, which is a little desolate at the moment because things have gotten wild. My mother and I have been expanding our house, and we converted our 2-car garage into a studio, which may be used for her, maybe used as like communal living space. But all these potted plants that we had on our patio, I moved back here to keep away from everything, and then while pregnant just kind of neglected them. And so I'm gonna do a little bit of tidying up of them while I talk to fine folks this week. How about that? The thing about these plants, I have to be careful and I have to wear these gloves because black widows reside in these. So taking my life into my own hands while I chat with you. Do I live with my mom or does she live with me? That's the question. It really is more of I can't see what I'm doing. It's more of a roommate situation, right? It's not so much that she lives with me or I live with her, it's that we live together, and it wasn't necessarily the plan. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Meredith. I started this channel to document my IVF experience as a single mom by choice, and the further and further I got into being a single mom by choice, the more I realized like that term wasn't working for me, because my donor was my gay best friend from college, Michael, and my mom ended up kind of relocating her life out here to California to help raise my little guy, Oscar.
It can really quite handle the high speeds.
And so, oh my God, look at this sad plant. This is a corn plant. I have resurrected it from the dead before though, and it's got all these little babies, so it's gonna be fine. Anyway, my mom is really helping to raise him, so I figured I would kind of change this channel into, you know, before it was like the backup plan of like, here's how I'm gonna have kids now, but now it's really like the backup plan for kind of my whole life. Mom and I have plans for traveling and stuff coming up, and we're about to plan our first adventure with Oscar. He's gonna get on a plane, so stay tuned for that. Please subscribe, like, comment. Tell me if you're living with your mom. Tell me if you're moving in with your parents. Tell me if your kids are moving in with you. I think we're kind of living in interesting times where we can kind of define like who we are as a culture and a species, because everything is just up in the air now, isn't it? I think the best way to kind of talk about like what our experience is to move on to the next plant. This one is actually, I don't even know what kind of plant this is. Comment below if you know. But a neighbor had a big one that was like falling over into our yard, and I just propagated it. This other one that I have like this had a lot of those black widows I was talking about, so pay attention while I talk. I just kicked it up a notch, didn't I? Like, you know, this was supposed to be a YouTube video about living with my mom, but now I'm just taking my life into my own hands. I think the best way to kind of talk about what our situation is to talk about the past, the present, and the future. Past, how did we get here? My dad passed away. My dad passed away in 2021, and my mom and dad have been married for over 51 years.
51 years, 6 months, and 3 weeks.
I am an eldest daughter. I'm German, I'm a Capricorn. I'm very focused on caretaking. I think the way that I give love is through acts of service. And so I just wanted to make sure that my mom was as taken care of as she could be. She's usually the one to take care of everybody. And so I was like, somebody needs to watch her and take care of her. You know, I even remember saying to my dad as he was passing, you know, we knew it was coming. He had stage 4 cancer and had been sick for quite a while. Actually, he'd been diagnosed the week of Trump's first inauguration. So I had a conversation with him at the end, and I said, I just want you to know Mom is taken care of. Like, I'm going to make sure she's okay. So yeah, it was just really important to me. It was kind of a way for me to compartmentalize the grief I was experiencing, because I was like, I gotta take care of her. You know, I have worked through the grief in time. I just needed to not do it right then, because I think I probably would have collapsed. Yeah, I told my mom, I was like, you gotta move out here. Come out here with me.
I couldn't imagine you staying in that house.
It would have been difficult. I mean, there's still moments now it's difficult to go back, but
Yeah.
then it would have been super difficult.
Yeah.
We've talked through it, and neither one of us really knows like what we were expecting when she came out here.
I don't know what I thought. You know, life at that time was just one step at a time.
We found a place.
There are certain ways that people cope with these things. Retail therapy is one of them. And a lot of times people do retail therapy with online shopping, perhaps going out and buying designer handbags, which I would say is somewhat of a foolish. Why would you spend so much money on something like that?
But we did go online.
And we did spend a lot of money.
Yeah, but now we're living in it.
So we were doing retail therapy on Redfin, basically.
We put an offer on it. It had contingencies and stuff in case, you know, the place was a total hellhole. And it wasn't. As you can see, it's a little bland and a little bleak, but that's because we just haven't focused on this part of the house yet. We ended up doing a whole bunch of renovations, but we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. We'll actually talk about this house and I'll show you more of it because it's really important to me. At the moment, I kind of just want to like explain what mine and my mom's situation is. We didn't get along. We never got along when I was a kid. She wanted a strong and independent daughter and she got that. And then I think she was like, ooh.
And
Not expecting it. And so there's always been a little bit of a power struggle between she and I. All right, this guy's gonna have to be repotted, but it's cleaner now than it was, that's for sure. My God, I can see the roots coming out the bottom. Ay, ay, ay. If you had told me years ago that I'd be living with my mom, I would not have believed you.
I never thought that we would get along as well as we do now. And I think that having gone through the process of taking care of somebody at their end game, right, really changed things. And I think Dad would love to see how well we get along now, because it's so wildly different.
I think you learn at that point that, oh, I didn't think there was an end, but there's an end time, you know? And, yeah, I don't know. I guess we saw, you did for me, I did for you. And we just appreciate it when it happens.
That was easy. There's not too much mess in this little pot. Presently, it's working out really good. For the past couple of years, we've kind of had a couple of learning curves to living with each other. What is it like to live with me?
It different than when you were at home.
Fair.
Yeah, much different than the teenage years.
She said something to me the other day, and she didn't tell it. She didn't say it on camera, so I don't have evidence. But she told me that after taking care of my dad, that moving in with me feels like a vacation a lot of the time, which was like the nicest thing she could ever say to me. It's such validation that like the things that I wanted to do for her, I've done. I met that goal that I set for myself, and she saw the work that I did and has acknowledged the work that I did. So yeah, that's nice. That's good. I think the early part of us moving in together there was just so much grief that there wasn't as much a struggle between she and I of like that same old power struggle that we had in the past. It was more about like, how do we get through this awful time together? And we did. So yay, my dad would be so proud. How is it working now? Well, actually, we need more room. We definitely need more room. Neither of us really expected for her to be here. Oh, Jesus, there's mosquitoes. Hold on. I'm gonna have so many bites on my legs. All right, we've sprayed bug spray and we're bringing out the big guns. Ha! Tiki torch. Okay, you're gonna go here. So, where was I? So now I'm contending with not only Black Widow spiders, but also West Nile virus carrying mosquitoes. The things I do for YouTube. How are things working now? Let's take it back. Things are working well. I really like spending time with my mom more than I like spending time with anybody. And I just never thought I'd say that. The past couple of years have been really vulnerable for me. I've been let down by a lot of friends. I've probably let down quite a few friends too. And it's just been a lot of like growing and shifting and changing. Losing my dad has also made me realize, like, you know, the time that you have with your parents is fleeting. And there are things that like used to really frustrate me about my mom that I just like see through a different lens now. Like I just say, oh, she's saying that because of the upbringing she had or this experience she had, or like I just give her more grace than I ever did. And like, thank God, because we all need to be given grace, right? I recognize that I could not do what I'm doing with Oscar without her. When we moved into this house and I realized there was an additional room that like a baby could go in, I realized that was an opportunity, and also that it was an opportunity because she was here. So the frustrations that I have in living with you, of which there are quite a few, it does not even compare, because I'm able to do these things that I wouldn't be able to do alone. And I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. This lifestyle that I'm living, it's not, I don't know, I spent so much of my life really worried about, like, in terms of finding a relationship or whatever, being kind of frightened of giving, suck it, mosquito. I don't like trust a lot of men, because I've been let down by a lot of men, to give me the lifestyle that I'm living right now. And that sucks, but it's the truth. I trust my mom to help me give me this lifestyle. That's kind of scary because, you know, we're only on this earth for so long, right? So that spooks me. But right now, right here, it's working and it's great. And I can't worry about what if something happens to her next week, because something might not ever happen. Well, something will happen eventually, right? Death and taxes, right? But it's good. And I just don't want to rock the boat. I just want to keep enjoying what we're doing here. There's like a mantra in my manifestation processes that I've done. This or something better. If I found someone, it would have to be better than this, because I don't want to fix what ain't broken.
Right.
You know, and I don't want anybody who's going to come into my life has to fit into the puzzle. I don't even know if I would want to live with somebody who I was romantically involved with. I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just it though. You know, I say that same thing. Like, I don't know if I want to go through
a connection that deep again.
Yeah. I mean, I keep saying I'd like to find somebody to go to the movies and dinner with. That's it. Then go home.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I don't need anything after that. I don't need the romance. I've had the romance, but it would be nice to have a companion. But I would just tell them, there's the gate, you can leave now.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to find somebody who is of financial means much better than I am, who would be like, okay, like, well, you have that house. Like, this could be our house together somewhere else.
And then I could move in the big house.
Yeah, it would have to be another reworking of things, but it would have to be better than this. Because this is pretty good.
If you can't fix this.
Well, I think about the life I'm giving him, and I'm like, this is cool. He's got a really cool setup here, and I just don't want anything less cool for him.
Right. We don't want to put any burdens on him that he doesn't have.
Yeah. No, he just deserves more and better.
Yeah. And there are some men out there that are absolutely wonderful that you might have a great life with. But there are also a lot of creeps out there.
Yeah. And so I, like, you know, anybody who I would be with would also, like, they'd have to get along with you, and I would have to get along with their family too. Like, I couldn't take anything less than. Other future stuff. I mean, I think about having another kid. This plant. I'm going to try and propagate it, and if that doesn't work, I don't think it can be. I don't see any little nodes. Oh, so long. Yeah, the root of it is donezo. Donezo. I have 2 more embryos in the freezer. One of which is as good quality as the embryo that Oscar came from. So yay. The other one, we don't really know. It could be good, it could be bad. It's what's called mosaic. So that is my lady embryo. Sometimes I think I would give the mosaic embryo a try first, because it's not like guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, right? But there's less of a chance. And so if that goes wrong, I still have the other one to look to. That's kind of the thought process I'm having right now. I mean, in a perfect world, I'd be financially stable enough and everything would work out perfectly enough that I'd add 2 to my clan, hire some help, get a compound, Nana have a big old space of her own, and like I meet a wonderful man that was like, oh my God, I love these little like gabies that you had with your bestie. Might I be like an incredible father to them? And then it's just like more added to this like goofy pod that I've created. That's like the dream scenario. But if neither of those embryos come through and I don't meet a man, my mom and Oscar and I, it's pretty good. It's really really great. So in the future, we're talking about expanding this place. I'm looking at different career options that would maybe give me a little bit more financial freedom. And, you know, I did not think I would live with my mom, but I'm really liking it. In this time in my life, it's really, really good. When my dad passed, I found myself in a situation emotionally that was really good because I spent a lot of time with him and in therapy. The whole time that he'd been diagnosed, I did a lot of therapy and I got my health in better shape and I was in a good place, as good a place as you can be when somebody that important to you passes away. When my dad passed, I had no regrets. There was nothing that I felt like I had to say to him. There was no question in my mind that he was proud of me and just overjoyed that I was his daughter. And I recognize that that is a very special place to be in. And that's where I want to be with my mom when shit hits the fan, you know? Just with the people you love, like you just want to let them know that you love them and you feel loved by them and that they make you proud and to know that you're a shining little star in their eyes. So yeah, I'm going to make the fucking most of this right now. This is great. Like I'm so thrilled to give Oscar this time with his Nana. I didn't have time with grandparents, you know? Well, no, you don't know. On my mom's side, her parents passed away before I was born. And on my dad's side, his father passed away when I was like an infant, and then his mother passed away when I was about 2. I don't remember either of them. And I want to give that to Oscar as much as possible. All the frustrations I have with the way that my mom raised me, I don't care about anymore because I'm an adult who has gone through therapy. And she's not doing the same things with him that she did to me. Not that she ever did anything that bad. She was just, you know, a boomer. Boomers can't help booming, you know? So anyway, that's the story this week. And like I said, next week I'd love to show you around this house a little bit more, explain a little bit more about what we're doing, give you a tour of the ADU, which if you're not in California, it's acronym for, ooh, it's a very big hummingbird. Damn, that's the biggest hummingbird I ever seen. ADU is an acronym for accessory dwelling unit. Like I said, it's a converted garage. It's a little studio. And yeah, maybe next week I'll have all these plants cleaned up and it'll look a little greener, less bleak. You see wait, let me go over this way. Forget that like I'm wireless, I can show you. So these are, the entire backyard was covered in these pavers and I've slowly been lifting them up. If you were wondering what this beautiful design is here. It's not gonna stay, I don't want the pavers to stay here in the middle of the yard, but they're the like most even because whoever put them down didn't put any underlayment. So like, can you see this like sinkhole that was created? That was really cool. It's like fell into that the other day. So yeah, I'm trying to get the soil healthier, getting ready to have the house painted. Little by little, as the money comes in, we put money into this place because it means a lot to us. And I'm grateful that you're here. Again, please subscribe, like, comment, ask questions, join in the fun because there's a lot to do around here. I'm happy with my life, but it can always get better. So this or something better, guys. Let's keep going. Thanks for joining. Have a great week. Somebody explained to me why I just found a bone in one of these plants.